Hello and welcome to Talk from Superheroes. Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Ivamy.
And I'm Diana McCullum.
And you're listening to Talk from Superheroes, where every week we discuss a piece of heroic television or film. And this week on the podcast, we are talking about the classic, the all-time great. It's
the first.
Certainly the first.
Or the first, at the very least, the first.
We're going to be talking about 2003's Daredevil.
I can't believe we've never done 2003's Daredevil.
It is shocking, isn't it?
It is shocking because we do so many lead-ins and there's so much Daredevil content now.
And we've just never had time in the schedule, I guess.
3 Netflix series, Defenders, Spider-Man No Way Home, he's in She-Hulk, and we've just never needed a lead-in, or were we scared?
I think we might have been scared. we might have been scared. Cowards, but cowards no more.
Today we're without fear.
We are without fear
today.
We're
the podcast without fear.
And we will be talking about 2003's Ben Affleck-led Daredevil.
This is how little fear we have. We're doing the director's extended cut.
And the director's extended cut as well.
No fear to be seen.
We'll be talking about the Coolio scenes today. If you're like, are they going to talk about Coolio? And yes.
Oh, that's great, because I didn't particularly have any notes about Coolio.
You know what? That might be it.
We have spoken about it.
Yes, we have spoken. We will be talking about that, and we will be joined by a wonderful guest in just a moment. Before we get into the episode, we want to thank our sponsor of today's episode. We want to thank our friends over at Silverwax.
Silverwax, makers of pro-grade auto care and cleaning technology that's easy for everyone to use, which is great, because I'm everyone, and I don't know how to clean a car, but I do now, and it's so easy, and it doesn't take very long with Silverwax's amazing products.
With the right tools, it becomes just easier to get done. And get it done. Don't be the friend with the messy car. Every friend group has one friend with the car where it's just like, ooh, and it doesn't matter the make or model or year. There are some friends with I got a car this year, and I'm like, how does it look this bad this quickly? Get some tools, or fix it up.
Or how has it been this bad over time? Because I think salt is a huge thing. We're in Canada. You're getting salt stains everywhere, but we're getting out of salt season, so I think it's a good time to get their powerful salt stain remover. Really clean up the interior. Be like, get out of here, salt.
Get the salt out of there. Don't have the interior of your car look like the leg of baggy jeans in Canadian winter. You know what I mean? Get the terrible salt stain out of there.
You don't want people to look at it and go, oh no.
Oh no. Yes. Silverwax makes a salt stain remover that is formulated to neutralize your car's number one enemy. It's designed to remove built-up salt stains from your vehicle's carpets and fabrics. Its ultra-powerful formula neutralizes and dissolves stubborn stains. They also have other fantastic products like their Nano Diamond Ceramic Quick Wax, which uses nanotechnology, a crazy word that actually exists in the real world and not just comic books. But they use nanotechnology to ensure up to 6 months of protection and the ultimate shine. They make a lot of fantastic products. Check out all of their offerings. Silverwax takes absolute care of your car. Visit silverwax.ca. You can find Silverwax products at your local Canadian Tire or at silverwax.ca and use promo code TFSH10 at checkout to get 10% off your next order. That is silverwax.ca. Use promo code TFSH10 to save 10% off your next order, and thank you, Silverwax, for your support.
Thank you, Silverwax, for your support and my shiny car.
And now, let us not have fear and talk about 2003's Daredevil. All right, we have seen 2003's Daredevil, and we are joined by wonderful guest, friend of the podcast. He's been here before. He dropped his notes. Immediately dropped his notes.
What are you talking about?
What are we? It's Ian MacIntyre. Hello, Ian MacIntyre.
Nobody can see that I dropped my notes. You guys don't film this now, do you? Oh no!
If you're watching on YouTube, you were just in for a treat.
Yes.
Well, there we go. I was making such a big deal on the way in about how I brought notes this time because I wanted to be as prepared as Diana, and look at me now.
Look at you now.
You thought you could come at me, and immediately you're like, I can't do it.
I also promised that wasn't timed.
It was pretty good. You've been sitting here like 10 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
It was flawless comedic timing.
Through all the pre-roll ads, all of it.
This is why we ask you back every time. It's
Every
been
time.
a minute since you've been on the show.
It has been a minute.
Yeah,
This is a fun show to do, and I haven't been here in a long time.
Well, welcome back. Thank you for watching Daredevil.
Oh, any excuse to watch Affleck Daredevil.
That can't be true.
That can't be true.
Diana, this is my favorite movie. You know that about me.
It's definitely not Ghostbusters.
No, it's definitely not that I've also been here to your home to talk about on various podcasts.
Yes.
More than one other podcast.
More than one.
Jesus. Yeah. No, this movie is so great. This is the perfect movie for anyone that watched the Netflix Daredevil series and was like, where were the Hoobastank songs?
Yeah, it needs more Hoobastank or Evanescence. It needs more very
More than
turn of
one.
the millennium music.
More than one Evanescence song. At
More than
least
one.
two.
Definitely two. We haven't asked the question of did we like it.
Well, let's
Very
let's go around the table. Diana, did you like it?
No, I didn't like it. But I remembered kind of liking it. And I'd never seen this version. And I remembered liking the original in the very Schumacher Batman Forever-esque way that I like those movies. Of like, they're shiny and their jumps are bad. I did not like this long version. It's poorly paced. It doesn't have any motivating factor. The fights look terrible. Jennifer Garner's arms look incredible. Good for you, girl. Looking great. There's a couple things I like. I actually really like Daredevil Vision. I'm not going to lie. Other than that, there's not a lot going on in this movie that's enjoyable. There's no story. It doesn't feel like Daredevil. The powers are wonky. The fight scenes are wonky. Ben Affleck's bad casting. So it's like just Jennifer Garner's arms and Daredevil Vision and Jon Favreau, and that's what we're cooking with, and it doesn't make a whole meal.
No, but those are some ingredients, though.
Those are
some tasty ingredients.
Yum, yum.
Yeah.
So that's me. I don't like Daredevil original a bit more, actually, maybe, because it's just shorter and punchier.
Interesting. Okay.
So definitely not the long version.
And what about you, Ian? Did you like Daredevil?
I liked how this movie reminded me of how young I was when I first saw it. How it brought me back to 2003 and what I was doing at the time.
To the days when you were listening to Evanescence and doing sweet kick flips through the park.
All the time, on my skateboard.
On your skateboard, yeah.
When this movie came out, I was such a big Daredevil fan. Because in the years before it, I was a huge Kevin Smith fan, and then he started writing Daredevil, so I got very into that. And when this movie came out, I think I had a pretty complete run of like Frank Miller Daredevil issues,
right?
And I was very into it, so I was very excited about this movie. And when it came out, it was it was like that thing of if a kid had never tasted candy before, and you gave them bad like black licorice, and they would eat it. They'd be like, "This is real candy. I'm a real boy."
It was good enough for someone who didn't have the palate yet.
Exactly. It was what we got at the time.
Because I don't think we really realized how early 2003 was. You had like the Batmans, like Burton and Schumacher Batmans. You had X-Men, Spider-Man, one of each of those.
And apparently
Blade, and then this, and that was it for superhero movies.
And apparently, Spider-Man hit huge while they were making this, so they threw a bunch more money at it. And
okay.
all of it went into terrible slow motion. So anyway, to wrap up this question, I kind of had fun as a goof watching it. No, it is a bad movie. It does not work on almost any level. I love that Colin Farrell commits to being a pure Looney Tune the whole time. He's in a different movie than everybody else.
Yep.
I think he's in this movie. I disagree, but he is a pure lunatic.
He's just vibrating on such a weird frequency.
Yeah.
And I just want to watch the movie he thinks he's making. And yeah.
I can kind of get on board with this. So my opinion on the movie, I did not like it, but there are moments here where I'm like, if it leaned into camp, there is something here that would be, I think, in the anodes of like a Batman Forever, where people would argue whether it was good camp or bad sincerity. But it doesn't quite commit to campiness or zaniness. It tries to be serious at times. At times it doesn't. It's just kind of all over the place where I'm like, I don't know what all of you signed up for. No. None of you seem to have agreed to what you signed up for. So it's a little all over the place.
I could have lost an hour of legal drama and replaced that with an hour of Bullseye traveling from Ireland to America for no reason.
Right.
Just his plane journey.
Yeah.
It was so unnecessary.
I will say, from what I recall of the original, which I actually think I've seen like 3 or 4 times, I think it is mostly the camp because you lose all the legal drama. There's a reason this is the Coolio cut. His entire court case is cut completely. So it really is just all the campy fight scenes. It's the playground fight, like the whole time. Is what the original movie feels like. So I do think the original is a bit more like consistent in tone. It's a bad tone, but it's more. But it's consistent.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Kmart version of The Matrix. It was like 3 years after The Matrix, so everything is like got a blue tint to it and weird leather costumes that are ill-fitting.
You know what? That is the first time I've realized why they would be so excited about a superhero in sunglasses. Like, the Matrix sunglasses really popped off. And this guy only wears sunglasses.
Even his costume has built-in sunglasses.
And I can't remember when the second Matrix movie, when Reloaded came out, but there are some scenes in this that feel very Matrix Reloaded. We've now switched to a floppy computer animated version of these characters that have no weight and are not affected by gravity in any way, and it looks ridiculous, and that could be camp, but again, it isn't quite. I think the first thing I do want to unpack, I do love you bringing up Bullseye's traveling from Ireland.
Like, that's a plot point that he has to fly here for some
it's
reason.
like an old Hope and Crosby like road trip movie. Just him next to an old lady on a plane, and
there was something about it that sincerely felt like a film from the 60s or prior, because there was a point in film where it would be like they had no ability or no willingness to cut to a different location for the audience, where it would be like, but we need to show this character leave the building and then get in their car and have a shot of the car drive away. Then we need to have a shot of the car pull up to the new location. We see them get out of the car, walk up to the new building, and then a new scene starts. Otherwise, people will wonder if they teleported there. And it was like a legitimate thing back in the day that would be like, you can't just cut to a new location. You need to show someone travel there. And it was that for Ireland, but it's the year 2003, and we know how movies and planes work. And I don't know why we had to follow him for so long.
I just like the idea that because Colin Farrell was like, can I use my Irish accent? And they were like, I guess. And he was like, ha, I fooled you. Now you have to show me getting there from Ireland. And they were like, he's right, we do. We have to explain it.
Can't be an Irish man in New York City.
They don't have those.
They've never been there. The Irish in New York?
Well,
that's insane.
We have to cut out 20 minutes of good fight scenes, and we have to show this transatlantic journey now.
But I also feel like there is a like as much as they try to be comedic, there's actually maybe a kind of fun or cool element of like the buildup of a villain arriving, but you see him traveling there is so ridiculous. Like, any minute now, this Bullseye guy is gonna be here, and he's on a plane, and the lady won't shut up, and he kills her with a peanut. It's like there's a really slapstick element there that just doesn't land, but there's a potential to be the funniest thing that's ever happened.
Well, I just love that they had to call this guy from Ireland to come all the way to murder a middle-aged man.
Oh, yeah, because he wasn't called to kill Daredevil. He was called to kill Elektra's dad, this regular dude.
Absolutely.
And Elektra seems to be crazy trained, but the dad is just like, I'm very defenseless.
I'm man.
I'm man.
I am a man.
I'm an older man.
Yes.
Who is definitely not Greek, although neither is Elektra, so who cares?
Yeah. It's all a mess.
It was 2003. We didn't care about this yet. Although people were very mad about Kingpin.
Oh, good. Really? Fans didn't take that super chill?
Fans didn't like this incredible Kingpin casting, honestly.
It does rule. It does rule.
He's incredibly well cast as Kingpin. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He is the best early 2000s casting for Kingpin imaginable.
Well, this is what I'm saying for like a tonal change, where it's like, they don't match up, but I think this movie needs to be completely recast around Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin, or completely recast around Colin Farrell as Bullseye. And those are the two anchors of very different movies. Like Michael Clark Duncan's Kingpin, I'm just like, you're cool, you rule, you have power and gravitas, and like you are amped up, but you're not Looney Tunes. And if everyone matched that, I'm like, that's a movie. Now we're making movies. But if everyone also showed up like with a Colin Farrell energy, that's also a time. That's also pretty fun to me.
Can Marvel do a multiverse thing with both Kingpins? Is Michael Clark Duncan
Michael
alive?
Clark, he is not.
He's
He
not,
passed
that's
away
right.
several
Rest in
years
peace,
ago.
Michael Clark Duncan.
R.I.P. You were right.
Yeah, but he was a great Kingpin.
I mean, Elektra's in the MCU.
She is.
Yeah.
So this movie
She's got that.
exists.
Yeah. Michael Clark Duncan did get to voice Kingpin in one of the Spider-Man animated series for a while
dope.
as well. So
Did he?
they did like him enough that he carried over, which I think was the right call for them to be like, yeah, okay, you nailed this though. You get to be this. You're this guy.
His voice has the resonance of a big man. He's not just physically big. You hear his voice and you're like, oh no, this is a big man.
Yes,
There's an echo in there of a cave.
it's all bass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he works there, but you got to recast it around either him or
I
Colin
think that's
Farrell.
a fun idea because a lot of this casting is bad. But maybe it wouldn't be bad if it wasn't all together like this. Like I think Ben Affleck's a terrible Daredevil.
He is kind of the original sin of this movie, just getting off on the worst foot.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who thinks Affleck is good in certain things.
Affleck is good casting. If you cast Ben Affleck correct, he's perfect for roles.
Yeah.
But if you cast him incorrectly, he doesn't work. He's not a man with a ton of range. If you're like, hey, I have a role, it's kind of a piece of shit from Boston.
Yeah.
You cast Ben Affleck. If you're like, he's this guy, very kind-hearted, he's blind, he's trying his best. No, he's not. That's not him.
Just Ben
It's not you.
Affleck, he plays a white-collar professional. It's like, I'm going to stop you right there. This is already flawed. This is a crack in the foundation.
Ben Affleck went to law school, huh? Can't say I'm feeling it? Oh, and he was really good at it?
Oh, and also he's going to have dyed red hair, which is never going to look real.
Oh my God. And also they dyed that poor kid's hair who plays young
Looks
Matt.
worse.
It looks
They
worse.
both look so bad. I think because the kid's in daylight more often, although old Matt's also actually in daylight quite a bit when he's not Daredeviling.
But it's
And
like
it looks,
the hair, the sunlight hits the highlights of it. And it looks so fake.
It's so fake looking. And Matt's hair, I don't know what the dye did because I didn't dye my hair in the early 2000s. I assume dye technology has changed because every time he got rained on, his hair took so long to get wet. It was just repelling it like nanotechnology in the hair dye or something. Like Elektra would be wet immediately and his hair would still be fully floofy and the rain is just like dropping off
Was
of
it maybe a bad wig?
No, I think they just dyed it.
I think there was something weird with the rain, though. I don't think it was the wig-related stuff. Anytime it started raining, which is multiple times in this movie,
So much rain.
they
Loves
get
rain.
soaking
It's
wet.
a wet movie.
It's a very wet movie.
It won't get you wet, but it
It
is.
is quite wet. And anytime it would start raining, it would be a downpour. And the camera would be looking at someone, and everything gets soaking wet except for whoever's on camera at the moment. And then when the camera would cut away and look back, they would be sopping wet. And I don't know if it was just like, we can't get the mic packs wet. I don't know what it was going on. But he would be talking to Jennifer Garner, and it would downpour, and he would just be bone dry, even though you can see rain everywhere. And it would cut to Jennifer Garner, and she's sopping. And then when it cuts back to him, he's incredibly wet. But when when it first starts to rain, the people on camera don't get actively wet. It's like someone buckets them down the second the camera cuts away.
That tracks. Because also there was that one scene, because he runs away from the rain to go stop a mugging, and we're like, it's not raining in this scene.
It was like a torrential downpour.
But like one of the guys doing the mugging, his jacket was wet. And we're like, it was a torrential downpour. And it stopped this fast?
And it wasn't, he outran it somehow, but then it started raining again.
But also ran fast enough to get changed into his very tight and constricting Daredevil
Where did
costume.
he have that? Where did he keep
Were they
this?
on his roof? Was that it?
The least quick changeable outfit
Oh my
possible
God.
as well. There's no scenario you're changing into that quickly. Spider-Man can change quickly. This
Sure.
outfit can't change quickly.
Yeah, Spider-Man's got an easier outfit and he has actual like superpowers.
He's a spy.
As much as this movie wants to be like, he's got superpowers, like we're watching it, we're like, Matt doesn't really. Like, what do you mean he can do all this shit?
Yeah, no, he's doing like jumps off of buildings and flipping through stuff, and it's
Yeah, the stuff the kid can do when the kid's doing just like standing crazy backflips and stuff. And it's-
Although I did like the explanation, and there's so much voiceover in this fucking movie, but when he's explaining how like his sense of touch gives him better like just balance and awareness and
I would believe the balance. He also said it gave him increased strength, and I'm like, that's not how touch works.
not really no.
No, you got stuff in your eyes, and now you're strong. You got to work out.
And a little bit stronger, there are moments when anytime he becomes full CG, he is Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like, and that's the one where I'm just like, what are we doing now? There was a moment towards the end when he just jumps off the roof of a building and just lands on his feet.
Oh, no.
After like 50 stories, and I'm like, body bag. You're in a body bag. Like, you can't just land on your feet. I'm like, I've got to stretch the imagination that you don't like rip your arms out of their sockets when you swing.
Oh, yeah.
But even then, I'm like, I can buy into that. But when he just lands on his feet, I'm like, you're not this guy. This isn't. No, someone should have looked into this.
There's also a couple floppy shots when he's like parkouring up a building. He's like going back and forth between the two buildings, and it's like, oh, it's so weightless and bad and humanly impossible.
Yes. But to be fair, the practical effects are also bad. There's some stuff where it's like, I know that you enjoy the camp of Colin Farrell, but the fact that he has a fake eyebrow piercing on and then has a fake eyebrow over the fake eyebrow piercing, and the wardrobe and makeup department who did that, you're insane. I don't know if you're beautifully insane or just stupidly insane, but you're insane.
I love how much is wrong with this movie, and that's what you latched onto. You're like, there's an eyebrow piercing under the eyebrow.
The fact that they're just like, Colin Farrell's eyebrows are not good enough. We need thicker, bigger, crazier person eyebrows. But also this dude has an eyebrow piercing. So put the piercing on, then put the fake eyebrow on. So I can see a glued on eyebrow over a piece of metal instead of like when someone gets their brow pierced, you can see that cut line that like an eyebrow has in it when someone has an eyebrow piercing. But instead he just has a chunk of metal on underneath what looks like a fucking fake mustache they put on his forehead.
Well, maybe that line in the movie where he's like, I want a fucking costume. By the way, they never give him a costume at all.
Yeah.
What a tease to nothing. But maybe that's a thing that was actual Colin Farrell, and he just went into the wardrobe department and was like, "Give me a costume." That was a pirate. I don't know, but still, they were just like more, and he's like more, and they're just putting stuff on top of stuff.
Yeah, give me the brow piercings, love. Give me the brow piercing. Put the fake eyebrows on top of the brow piercings.
More fake eyebrows.
Put a fake eyebrow on top of the fake eyebrow.
Yeah, the costume thing is so weird because usually Marvel movies have like an end credit scene that has no payoff. They don't usually have a mid-movie scene that has no payoff.
Oh, buddy, this movie has nothing but those.
I know, but like to have Bullseye look down the barrel of the camera and say, "I want a costume," and then not get one.
Not even close.
And to even die. Oh, I guess he lives at the end. Never mind. He is alive. So I guess Daredevil 2, we might have came back with a costume. But that's the funny to be an hour into a movie and be like, don't you worry, I'm getting a real costume, everybody. And to not get one.
Just his weird alligator skin leather duster. Again, Matrix knockoff vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I love about the duster? Genuinely, from just a practicality perspective, the armpits are cut out.
Yeah.
So if you sweat, it's not going to really ruin it or make it stinky.
Well, it had that like medieval jacket type of thing where it wasn't just the armpits. The sleeve was cut off and stitched together.
Oh.
So it's like I forget, there's a word for it, I'm sure, but you know what I'm talking about, like that medieval wear that knights would like wear underneath a suit of armor, where it's the sleeve and body are different.
Pantaloons?
And you can see it's like sure.
I want to say like a tunic.
Yeah.
But there's big stitching holding the arm on, so you can see the armpit, but there are lines holding the arm.
Good airflow though.
Good airflow though, for sure. Good movement.
Oh, so he
range
never
of
misses.
Movement. Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to taunt Affleck. Because he's like, you're
Look how much I can move.
sewn into that stupid leather jacket, that motocross vest that you're wearing.
Look at these pits.
Yeah, I can sweat everywhere.
Look at this.
I can lift my arms over my head and my suit doesn't rip wide open, which I'm sure Affleck's did.
The whole time, Affleck, have you ever seen those action figures that kids have now? Those like Marvel superheroes and stuff, but they come in a really tall, narrow box. And the action figure looks like he's like this the whole time.
I know the one. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The real straight-armed ones.
Yeah. And that's what Affleck looked like the whole time to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suits way too tight, way too shiny. They hadn't figured out like the dodgeball-y kind of materials yet of superhero costumes. They were like, the shinier the better, right? It's the 2000s pleather era. And we all like pleather. And we're like, I guess we did. People have frosted tips in this movie. But no one liked this movie, so we must have been over
You can do that, but you got to go all in. Give Deadpool his costume if you're going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Bullseye.
Or Bullseye, sorry. Yes.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Give Bullseye his costume and make it that same type of pleathery that Daredevil has.
But still, I love that they did keep the little DD on Affleck. It looks like a J. Crew logo or something. Like, it looks like he got Daredevil branded clothes.
Yeah, he looks like he's sponsored by someone else named Daredevil. It's like when I watch basketball players and it's like Sun Life Financial on their jerseys. I'm like, okay, they're sponsored by Sun Life.
Oh, you're sponsored by DD.
Okay.
Who is that?
Designated driver?
Good for you.
Dungeons and Dragons. Sponsored by Dungeons and Dragons.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like, do people know your name's
All
Daredevil?
the hellscape and whatnot, you know? Of course. Sponsored by Dungeons and Dragons.
Like, knowing he makes them himself, that he's monochroming little DDs in there, and I'm like, you should be in court, Matt.
Yeah. You missed court today.
I had to make a little DD for my costume.
You are screwing up your court cases. People are going free that you then need to track down because you're a bad lawyer at times as well, it would seem.
Yeah, I mean, you never see Matt do anything particularly impressive in court in this entire movie.
No, he actually, it was kind of the first time I realized maybe Matt's a bad lawyer because he totally fucks up the case because he thinks the guy's telling the truth because he's using his superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so have you looked at the actual evidence or like thought about the actual case? You're like, no, I'm just going to lie detector everybody and that's how I law.
And then hope that I get sympathy from the jury by playing up my blindness. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's all pretty manipulative and loose and not how court works,
Yeah,
but okay.
This is real foggy behavior.
Hey, I spent 100 hours last month learning parkour. That's much more important.
It's much more important
Takes
for
away
him.
from my law time. Also, wouldn't a pacemaker sound very specific? Wouldn't Matt be like,
think.
oh, that guy's got a pacemaker. Darn.
Yeah, wouldn't he be like, no, this heart rate's too consistent? Or I don't really know what pacemakers do.
Yeah.
I know you can't be near a microwave.
I think you can still have variations.
Bet you bring a microwave to court every time.
I'm just gonna make a burrito real quick.
If anyone has a pacemaker, you have to tell me.
Just holding it up to a guy.
You would think that like radar sense could see it. He can see everything else.
His radar sense is wildly inconsistent in this movie, though. There are times where he is sincerely blind. There are times where it's like he has no idea what's going on until he like taps something to get an echolocation, and then there are other times where he's just like, I can hear the sun. Like it's wildly inconsistent what his range is.
At one point, Elektra manages to stab him because he can't see her through a laundry sheet. He's like walking through the laundry on top of the roof, and he's like moving the laundry real quick, like, oh, are you back here? And I'm like, you should be able to see through the laundry. You've been able to see the entire cityscape whenever you feel like
You
it.
shouldn't be doing this job if you can't see through a laundry sheet, buddy.
I will say, though, as I said in the earlier, I actually think Daredevil vision looks great. I love this like idea of what Matt sees. I think it translates really well.
It does, and I like the tap on something and make an echo and all that. It did feel so overpowered that it was like the detective vision in the Arkham games.
Oh, yeah.
I kept waiting for like stats and like heads-up display stuff to come up on it.
Yeah, it's weird when he can see like when a woman's smoking in front of him on the stairs and stuff. I'm like, I don't know about smoke. That's just air.
I thought that was supposed to be like the combination of he's got also enhanced smell. Because it was smoke, it was colognes and perfumes, it was food. So I think it was supposed to show as well that he can see smells.
Maybe, but anyway, I do like this like idea of like this is what he sees and this is how things light up and this is how the radar sense works. So I think for the very first Daredevil, it's actually a pretty fully formed idea of how his powers work.
For sure.
And
I
like
agree
really
with
well,
that.
like it looks really good. For 2003, it looks great because it doesn't have to look photorealistic. They actually did a really good job.
Yeah, for one, the PS1 graphics that they've got are working in their favor.
And especially for a movie that does fail in other areas of its computer generation and of its visual effects, it's very good for the time. I agree. Yeah. We can do better now, but like that was really good then.
I mean, even current Daredevil never switches to matte vision. I think in one episode ever, they've showed us what Matt sees.
Oh, interesting.
There was like in the first season, because he kind of describes it more like all of my senses are so heightened that they kind of combine to make a picture of the world that I can see in my head. And they showed it like once.
Yeah, he said the world is on fire.
Yeah,
and you could see Karen, and she was like ablaze.
That was cool.
It was cool.
That was very cool.
But yeah, they've used it very sparingly. So I actually kind of liked seeing it all this time. But speaking of like the actual CG as well, they kind of went a little crazy with transitions, director.
Oh, some of the transitions. There was a moment when like the camera whips across town to show a painting of the Virgin Mary on the side of a church, which transitions into Ben Affleck's eyes. And it's like,
and he doesn't look like that.
You don't need to do this much. You don't need to do this much.
And so many reflections in Joe Pantoliano's glasses of things.
They love reflections in this movie.
Oh, they love reflections.
Yeah, a movie that's about a guy who can't see things. It's all a visual motif of reflection.
Interesting.
It's about seeing things in a different way, MacIntyre.
I still can't see, guys.
Yeah, but
Shut up, Matt.
we're seeing the world through reflection, and he sees the world in a weird way through echoes.
It's about considering the lens of someone else's life. So look at these lenses that are also the Virgin Mary, which symbolizes that he's Catholic. Oh. Dadoy.
Yeah, no, you're right. I missed all of that.
They also like going into puddles.
Yeah.
Many transitions into the
puddles.
glasses.
A lot
At
of
least
puddles.
3 puddles, yeah.
Yeah.
So much. It's so wild that this movie was directed by the guy who made like Grumpy Old Men. And what else did he do? It was like
it's an interesting IMDb.
Yeah, it was Grumpy Old Men, Simon Birch, and Christopher Robin, and this.
I wonder what got you this. It really feels like this is a movie that should have been directed by someone who mostly did music videos.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
This should have been Zack Snyder's first.
Yes.
He was not, I don't think, was he directing yet? I don't think he was.
I think he was still just an AD doing a bunch of coke.
Yeah, if he had done the Evanescence video, it wouldn't have surprised me.
I think he was directing at that time because I think the Dawn of the Dead remake was him,
You're
and that
right.
might have been
It was like the
around
year
this
after.
time as well.
Man, yeah, he could have done Daredevil.
Yeah.
He totally could have done Daredevil, actually.
Yeah,
He could have woken up inside.
he could have done the Evanescence music video.
Wake me up.
Wake me up inside.
Can't wake up.
Can't wake up inside.
My favorite thing about that song is that I always forget that if you listen to it long enough, that other guy comes in and he's like, "You're on the inside, you're doing it," and then they like sing back and forth.
I never dream. I never go when I'm thinking about things.
And she's like, "I'm still waking up inside." He's like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah."
I'm still waking up.
It's so great.
Not quite awake. I need to hit the snooze button.
Such a silly band, and I love that they existed and maybe still exist. Who knows?
And they had 2 really long musical sequences in this movie that were frankly disruptive.
Back to back. They were back to back scenes.
And they were played over dialogue and too loud. Normally when movies have like a big like a tie-in song or they've licensed an actual popular song, they'll be like, okay, it plays a little, and then we cut out the singing and it's just the instrumental version when we go to dialogue. Not this movie.
Not this movie. During the cemetery scene, My Immortal is playing at full volume, all lyrics, and then Elektra starts to talk, and it feels like live editing. They realized you couldn't hear her, and the music just stops so suddenly. She's like, "No, Matt, I can't be with you. Wake me up." And then it's just like really, it doesn't fade out. It doesn't turn into just instrumental. And then as soon as they're done talking, it just is like, "How do I breathe?"
You hear like the click of the boombox that they had on set.
They had it on cassette. It was cassette. They were mixing it with cassette.
They did it like a musical, and they sang it live.
We spent all our money on eyebrows for Colin Farrell.
More eyebrows. Get me more eyebrows now.
Yeah, they were playing live on set.
They were $5 live on set. We're playing at Elektra Nachios' funeral, Dad's funeral. That's our new gig.
Playing over the eulogy, guys.
And not only were there times where it hard cuts off, but it would hard cut off it in like a couple sentences too late. There are, I'm going to say, like a good dozen lines of dialogue that are just gone. Garbo. Or it's just like, I'm so sorry about, wake me up. Sorry about your father has passed away. It's just, there's too much happening simultaneously.
Oh, the best part of that scene too is as he's talking to her, he takes his glasses off because he can tell they want it to be like a real intense, like, I'm looking in your eyes. He's wearing contact lenses that he cannot see through. And he's just like staring off in the middle distance like Stevie Wonder. And it's so unintentionally funny.
Yes.
Yeah. They really did accidentally give him some method acting with that one of like, yeah, he can't see.
I can't imagine the contacts were comfortable for Jennifer Garner either.
Her eyes were glowing.
Jesus, that's sick. She was radioactive.
This was some She-Hulk, like, this is what you should wear when you're a Hulk kind of contact lenses. Like, yeah, there's gamma radiation in here.
Oh,
yes.
my God. That scene when she walks into the coffee shop at first, and it's just glowing bright green.
When she walked into the coffee shop, I out loud actually just went, Jesus! Like, it was upsetting to see.
It was upsetting.
It was upsetting.
He did do that, everybody. I can confirm.
The contact lenses in this movie, on both of them, are so bad that they make for these terrible romantic scenes, even though they were genuinely falling in love.
I would love to have felt that. Wouldn't that have been so nice if you're like, oh, that's where it happened. I can see it. But you can't.
You can't see it.
There's no chemistry here. I understand why they divorced.
Yeah.
There's nothing here, guys.
Yeah, in the divorce proceedings, they were like, and it was the fault of the contact lenses in 2003's Daredevil that this marriage must be dissolved.
Well, that is a bigger thing that I kind of want to talk about in this movie, is that it is wild that not only is like Ben Affleck not the right guy for this role, and he's bad casting. I also think that there is a level of burden and blame to go on every cast member because no one's helping him. No. And I feel bad at times watching a man struggle and no one's helping him not drown. Where it's like the scenes he has with Jennifer Garner, I'm like, you two were dating at the time or started dating. You have no real charisma. Jennifer Garner, and don't hold back on his count, Jennifer. Like, she is doing stunts. Her arms are ripped. She knows what she's doing. She has that
so much better than his.
She embarrasses him.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's got scenes with Jon Favreau, and Favreau's like, it's me. I make everything feel real and charismatic. I'm coming in, and I'm actually playing this like I've been your best friend for years. And he's like, I need to read these lines, John, and I'm going to read them like I've never met you before. And John's like, I'm not going to help you in any way. It's me. I'm saying my lines like this, confidently, comfortably, as if we've never met before. And then Colin Farrell shows up, and he's like, whackity slappity do! And Ben's like, Ben's dying. Ben is getting no help from anyone in any regard.
Ben can't breathe. He doesn't know how to act as this character. Colin Farrell is a Batman 66 villain, and he is just lost.
Oh, yeah, he's like Vincent Price as Egghead or Cesar Romero as the Joker.
I was thinking Frank Gorshin's Riddler, but they're all good. They're all juicy good. Batman 66 villains, and Colin Farrell is fitting in right there. And I agree with what you're saying, but I will not say Jon Favreau is doing anything wrong ever in his life.
No one's
What an incredible performance.
Yeah. Yes.
He is absolutely genuinely making Ben Affleck laugh in the coffee shop scenes.
Yes, you can see
both of them, which are clearly filmed on the same day.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely.
And Ben Affleck is just openly laughing.
They just shuffled the extras and stuff, yeah.
And he's clearly just like improvising these lines where he's just like, seeing eye dogs bond for life. He left you. How does that happen? How did that? And it's the only time in this movie I saw a sincere smile from a human man. I was like, whoa.
Emotion from Ben was when he was laughing at Jon Favreau.
Well, I think Jon Favreau did such a good job that they were like, okay, we have to get you to do this again. Yeah. You're Happy Hogan now. Don't worry, it's basically the same guy. It's fine.
Yep.
Also, can you kickstart our universe?
Help in every way.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas for who should play Iron Man? And he's like, I actually know a guy, and you're not going to be happy about it at first, and then you won't want to let him go forever.
Yeah, but you were right about everything in Daredevil. So can you just run this for 15 years, please?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't give Favreau enough credit for surviving the original MCU, and then making the current day MCU.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a smart man, and he is good in this character that is a poorly written character in a poorly written movie that's poorly executed. But Favreau, he does it again with Happy, and he's done this with other characters in his career. He has this very organic comedic sensibility of delivery where if you want someone to play a person who has been your best friend for years, Jon Favreau just shows up to set with a sensibility where he's just like, you can put any script or lines in front of him, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to say it to you, my best friend. Of course we're best friends. And you 100% buy in. There's never been a moment where I felt like Jon Favreau's anything other than a ride or die best friend on screen.
Yeah, he does a really good job here of also like being best friend to a blind character. Like, he's always, like, leading him in a way that is very familiar, not in a, like, I've never helped a blind person before and I don't know what it would be.
Yeah.
Just, like, having Matt's hand on his shoulder and just being like, we're just gonna, like, we're walking and talking very casually, very easy.
I thought the movie did a good job with, like, the visually impaired touches. Like the thing of Matt, like, taking different bills out of marked folders and putting them in his wallet and folding them specific ways, or his watch that, like, had the braille on it, and they give thought to it.
Yeah, the printer that prints out braille writing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's one good moment in the courtroom scene when Matt doesn't show up and Foggy's like, I'll just check his notes. They're in braille. Fuck. I can't read Matt's notes.
Terrific.
It's actually such a good joke.
Yeah.
Disability Unocard.
Oh.
Did the old reverse on you.
Oh, the old Uno reverse. The old Uno reverse in braille.
You can't read mine now.
You take that one. And the other actor who I do want to give credit to as well in this is Joe Pantoliano.
Sure.
Always amazing.
Old Joey Pants.
Yep.
I like him a lot. I was thinking about him recently, actually, in regards to a few performances he's had, but recently with the passing of Gene Hackman. Mm-hmm. There was an article that I was reading talking about Gene Hackman where it was like, Gene Hackman, even in the most hammy, big, over-the-top performances, he's always playing some variation of a real guy, you know? And I like that week saw Joe Pantoliano in something else, and I was like, Joe Pantoliano really has that same kind of Gene Hackman energy where it's like he somehow can be in these big bombastic pieces, but still plays some variation of like a real guy that it just like it's a little bit different. It always lands. It always feels kind of natural for him.
I agree, because I will say we're saying everyone in this movie is in a different Daredevil. I think Joe Pantoliano would fit like current day Disney Charlie Cox Daredevil, no problem. Mm-hmm. Like, yes. I feel like in this movie he's doing a very grounded but like fun and only slightly over the top. Like he manages to somehow make it really fun and not cheesy when he throws a cigarette and lights up the Daredevil gasoline.
Yeah.
And he nails that.
Yeah, I agree.
And he like doesn't like ham up that joke about how like the guy that he killed is like two halves on a gurney, which is like just very subtle humor that's happening. Yeah, he's really good in this. And he's always really good and sociable.
I love that Matt through the whole movie is like, what Daredevil? There's no Daredevil. He's probably a myth. Don't investigate him. And then at the crime scene where he murdered a man with a train, he leaves a DD, his symbol that he has created, visually designed, even though he's blind. Mm-hmm. He leaves that on the floor in lighter fluid, knowing that someone eventually will light that on fire.
Yeah, like, how long did that take? Where did lighter fluid come from?
Yeah, he brought some kind of accelerant with him to pour onto the ground.
In a very controlled way, because there was cops walking through that crime scene for like an hour.
Yeah, I had to think it was some kind of like tube, like a lipstick, like in his stick.
Like a gel?
A gel.
A gel, more than a gas, a gel.
Some kind of flammable gel, yes,
like
that you couldn't bring on a
hand
plane.
sanitizer. A hand sanitizer is flammable.
That would
you could actually gel out a hand sanitizer.
I don't know if a cigarette would light up hand sanitizer.
Yeah, a lighter would, but I don't think a cigarette also.
A lighter would.
A lighter does.
Oh, it does.
Yes, it does.
What do you do when I'm not at home?
Don't worry about it. But I have.
Why do you think this room has need to be repainted?
I've lit a Purell fire before. Yeah, it will carry forward and burn. It'll burn for a little bit too. But so it could have been that. It could have been that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. I have a weird thing to say about the Easter eggs in this movie.
Please.
And one of them's really mean.
Because we've been so nice up until this point.
No, the movie's mean. Because there's a ton of like name drop Easter eggs. It's Stan Lee's here, Kevin Smith's character's named Kirby. Just a ton of writers get names.
Quesada, Romero,
Ramada,
Ramita, Miller, Bendis are all the boxers. But one of the ones you said, Quesada. So most of the name drops are boxers or morgue assistants. And then Quesada is a rapist who gets murdered by Daredevil. And I don't know a lot about Joe Quesada, famous editor of Daredevil, but feels really mean.
Feels rude.
Feels rude as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, what's my Easter egg in the movie?
Oh, you're gonna love it. You got a big part.
You're a You're a rapist who Daredevil murders. You're the only guy he kills in the movie. You're the only one worth killing.
Yeah. You get cut in half. It's awesome.
You're the only one we cast. Like, because the rest of the people are names in the background where it's like, I used to fight Kirby back in the day and all this stuff.
Miller and Bendis are also on payroll.
And then here he is, the man we murder, a terrible human being, Quesada.
And Quesada he's all over this movie too because, like, his run on Daredevil, because he was the artist on it too, it had just come out, and like there are straight pulls from his art in this movie. Like they're so indebted to him. They're like, you know what he's gonna love? We're gonna have this terrible rapist who escapes justice.
He's gonna be
unrepentantly.
And he's so smarmy about it.
So smarmy.
He's gonna be a terrible nasty boy.
And then he's super mean to Josie in Josie's bar, which is apparently a weird biker bar now.
Yeah, there's bikes inside.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where he got the lighter fluid? They were pouring lighter fluid on the ground.
Oh, I think
Josie.
maybe
He
there.
would have had to bring it with
some
him,
kind of gas or
but
something. Yeah.
We're making the connection.
As I was looking around Josie's, and I know that, like, of all the problems in this movie, but I was looking around Josie's, and I'm like, it's a bar with a normal door. How'd they get the motorcycles inside the bar? I'm like, you need a special garage door to get Ever heard of be like, you got your motorcycles in again? I'm like, how did this accidentally happen with no one noticing up until the last moment? You know, like, there needs to be a loading bay, a cargo elevator. There needs to be you need extra employees to help facilitate the build up to this moment.
Well, the reason that the door wasn't there is because they absolutely weren't on the set when Daredevil fought everyone. So that was just a separate room where they filmed some motorcycles.
Bit of chain link fence, couple motorcycles, lady taking her top off. You know, that room.
The lady taking her top off was crazy.
Yeah.
You can see a nip real quick.
Yeah, well, when you bust out the Evanescence cassette, things get wild on set. You just don't know. The motorcycles show up, the top comes off, Evanescence is playing.
Oh my god!
But yeah, the motorcycle burn was like, I was like, Josie's supposed to be like Daredevil's friend, right?
Yeah.
This is terrible. Is this bar gonna get revamped at the end? It'll be the lawyer bar? No.
No. Still just like a weird biker bar,
Just totally trashed.
Yeah, completely trashed.
Oh, I mean, at the end where he says, like, you killed the only two people I ever loved, and one of them is apparently Elektra, a woman he's met 3 times.
Oh, yeah, I know
when it happens in these movies a lot, but it's
when he said you've killed the only 2 people I loved, it actually took me a minute to be like, who?
Yeah.
Like, who are the 2 people? And it took me a moment to even remember that I was like, oh, your dad was one of them, and the woman you met this week.
See, I thought that was a fine thing to say. I knew who the 2 people were. My problem was, I'm like, you don't love Foggy? He's such a good friend.
He's one of the only likable people in this movie.
He's the pillar of your entire legal career.
Yeah.
He's doing all the work.
He doesn't mind that you get paid in fluke. Or he does, but he accepts it a little bit.
And he makes fun jokes about it.
Yeah,
He does make
there's got
jokes
to be more
about
than
it.
2 people you've loved, Matt.
Yeah.
At the very least. But yeah, I didn't mind that so much. He definitely fell in love way too fast. Because they never even talk. She's just pretty. She has no personality.
She's just
Elektra
pretty and good at fighting.
Good at fighting.
They love through the art of fight.
And playground parkour.
Which
We haven't even talked about that. Holy smokes.
What a woof of a scene that they worked really hard on.
Clearly like a cornerstone of this production.
they really thought that was going to be it. Like, they're like, this is it. This is the one that, like, people leave the theaters and tell their friends, you gotta come see this.
You're not going to believe it. They both stood on different seesaw ends.
Oh, well, you can even tell that, like, halfway through the scene, the kids in the playground are like, look, fight, fight, fight. But then by the end of the scene, the kids have wandered off.
They're gone before they're done. I also noticed this. Well, kids can only work for 4 hours a day, so they had to release those children.
Even for them to get on board to begin with, like, as kids come over, I don't even think they're chanting fight. They're just like, they're chanting generic mumbling that they've been told. They're like,
Rhubarb, rhubarb, yeah.
But I'm like, what do the kids think they're watching? You know what I mean? Like, there's like a playground of kids, and one of them's like, hey, hey, I think they're love dancing. Let's see what this is. Like, they seem to be falling in love while jumping.
I'm more of like, oh, that guy's trying to beat up that girl. Yeah! Just not a thing you want to see. She's doing a really good job, but...
It does look like an assault at times. He has her, like, in a chokehold, and the kids are like, yeah, this is interesting.
We're okay with this.
He's got a stick, and he keeps trying to hit her with it.
The kids don't know that he's blind.
The kids don't know he's blind.
If anything, looking at what he's doing, they're like, there's no way that guy is blind.
Yeah.
He never explains to her anything that's happening with his abilities whatsoever. If I was her, I'd be like, so you're not blind.
Yeah.
You're clearly not blind. We just had a playground fight.
She also doesn't have a ton of questions either. She's just kind of like, okay, I have to get in the car now.
Oh, my bodyguard's here. I'm like, you seem like you're really independent and wouldn't get in the car if you liked hanging out with Matt.
You're also a secret ninja. I can't imagine anyone making you do anything you don't care to do.
And they don't even really explore that. And they walk up to, like, the edge of giving her characterization and then walk back. And and most of it is just Jennifer Garner.
Well, that's why they made Elektra 2005.
To flesh it all out.
To flesh
the
it all
questions,
out.
yeah.
Because how did they make Elektra after this bomb? I mean, like, she's not bad in it. She's not given much to do. And, like, her fight scenes look great and her arms look great. But it's just crazy that they gave her a spin-off movie.
Yeah. Especially for, like, to lose money on a movie that no one liked and to be like, maybe the idea of, like, hey, we really like Jennifer Garner. Hey, you know, we like her. She's bankable. And maybe we'll do it at a lower budget. It still feels insane.
Yeah, maybe she is just really liked. I mean, as the only thing that survived into the MCU from this movie.
I get
like
the sense,
even the rest of even Kevin Feige was like, yeah, bring Jennifer Garner back. We love her.
I get the sense that everyone who meets Jennifer Garner is just enchanted by her as a human being. Like, she's just a lovely person.
And she has that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense as well why she was a cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine, where I'm like, there's a strong Ryan Reynolds energy about it. To be like, oh, you were in an absolute bomb that everyone hated. And to be like, but they didn't hate me, though. That wasn't on me. I mean, like, we'll give you another chance. And granted, they blew it with Elektra, but it easily could have been her Deadpool. Like, it could have been a, like, hey, yes, it was a stinker. It lost a lot of money, and everyone was mad. But you've got to trust me, I'm good for this character.
We came out smelling like roses. Yeah. Elektra and Deadpool, we did it.
Yeah, I think Garner and Reynolds, they've got a lot in common in that regard.
I saw a video on her Instagram that was her, like, when the movie was finally out and she could admit it. She was like, yeah, it was really fun. I had to train to be a ninja again. And she's, like, in her little home gym, like, retraining with the sais.
Her reels are wildly charming.
Super charming.
Because she'll be like, yeah, I'm training for Deadpool, but also she's like, I'm learning how to make donuts. And she's just like, I think I gotta throw them in the batter. It's actually genuinely really cute. She's very sweet.
God damn it.
I don't understand what that marriage was.
No, there's
or how
one video.
That could have worked.
There's one video where she's trying to teach her mom how to make a dish she's just learned, and her mom keeps like cutting with a knife really close to her thumb, and she's like, "Mom, cut away from yourself." She's like, "No, this is how I've always done it." And the whole video is just her worried about her mom's fingers.
That's so sweet.
It's really cute.
That's so sweet. Oh.
Adorable person.
Yeah, an adorable person. And strange relationship.
And strange
relationship.
Ben Affleck just seems like a constant walking disaster of a man. And again, I say that as someone who likes Ben Affleck in several movies.
Yeah. I'd say it to his face.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean? Like, I like him, but I'd be like, man, you seem like a mess.
Yeah, you're a self-destructive individual. And he'd be like, yeah, I am.
Yeah, you got me.
But in a real self-sabotaging, like people get kind of hurt because breakups hurt people, but no one's like, what an asshole. They're just like, yeah, he ruined it again.
He blew it.
He blew it.
He blew it.
He blew it is the description of Ben Affleck.
But she just seems like the most put together human being that's ever existed.
Yes. She's making donuts.
That's the
She's not getting Dunkin'.
She's getting
making
Dunkin'.
her own.
Yes. Like, Ben Affleck can't figure out the curing.
That really is the perfect encapsulation of what their marriage was and why it failed. Ben's Uber Eatsing Duncan to his doorstep.
And it's too much to hold and carry as a paparazzi takes a photo of him like a Sasquatch getting Dunkin' Donuts.
And she's teaching herself to make donuts.
Yeah, in a beautiful, like, trad wife, like, reel that she's created herself.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, she's better off, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
She's absolutely better off.
Yes.
I'm happy for Jennifer. She seems wildly happy every time I see her.
Oh, that's great. That's
Very
great.
content.
Is she with someone famous? Should I know this?
I think she's with a nobody now, or
Oh,
like
that's
a
nice.
director or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Not a face
Just
actor.
director.
Yeah, I think a successful person you haven't heard of.
That's very nice.
I think.
I frequently think of there's a great article. I think it might have been a New York Times piece by the comedian Josh Gondelman, and it's all about what he describes as the Baroque oil paintings that is every photo of Ben Affleck anywhere. And it's just a series of him like breaking down the artwork that is Ben Affleck having left the house. And there's one photo of Ben Affleck on a beach holding a towel, like looking out at the ocean. And it just looks like a terrible weather day, and everything looks miserable, and he doesn't look happy. And he describes it as Ben Affleck looking into the ocean and wishing he could do a reverse Little Mermaid to get away from it all. It's just the way Josh Gondelman describes photos of Ben Affleck is true art. It's
I
true
always
art.
forget he has that big back tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
That big, like, Iron Fist-esque, but on the back, dragon.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Do you want to play Daredevil or Iron Fist, man?
What do you want to play Batman or not?
Who do you want to be?
What do you want? What do you want?
man.
He wouldn't be terrible casting for Danny Rand. I don't know. Maybe you know this better than I
No,
do.
he'd be a bad Danny
Yeah,
Rand.
bad Danny Rand?
Danny's
Okay.
supposed to be, like, more fun and
Yeah, no, you're
quippy
right.
and-
You're right.
Yeah, he's not fun and quippy.
No, he's not.
No, he's like Spider-Man-esque, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
How I think of Danny.
Well, you are the expert. I trust your
Thank you.
judgment.
It's a sad job title.
You're an expert in a lot of things.
I
This
am,
is just one of
but
them.
like I actually am really happy for Daredevil fans because like I know the terrible feeling of the only live action version of your character being terrible because live action Danny Rand is very very bad in the Netflix shows. So for a long time like this Daredevil was the only live action Daredevil. I'm like that sucks, and it's so great to be able to watch this now and be like, oh, this is campy Daredevil, and then Netflix Daredevil's like real Daredevil. It's so good to have multiple iterations of a character.
Maybe you'll
So
get that
it
in the
makes
MCU.
Maybe I will. Yeah, they don't give up on their characters super easily. Like
Yeah.
they're like, we always want to make more stuff. So I think I'll get another Danny Rand someday.
You'll get a better Danny Rand.
I'm holding that hope.
Yeah, they'll put one on the back burner at some point. They'll sneak it in there. The Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. What was it?
Oh,
the
that was-
Spider-Man Web Warriors or
No,
whatever.
it was just called Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that was a good Danny.
yeah. That was a good Danny.
They did the
good
they
animated
did Iron
Danny.
Fist great there. Yeah, they got the right level of like I'm funny and I'm not too spiritual, and that's part of the comedy.
Yeah. Yep.
mix.
Well, do we have any final thoughts on Daredevil? Anything that we've missed that you wanted to get to?
How did that end fight work? So
You know what? That's a great question. All right, let's go in for the. No, it's a terrific question.
Oh, because this is another annoying thing about Matt's power. So Bullseye was like defeating him by like hitting an organ really loudly.
Yes.
Whereas in the first fight scene, like 50 guns go off and Matt's fine.
in a loud biker bar with motorcycles.
A loud biker bar with motorcycles, guns everyone. He's like, I'm absolutely fine. And
Yeah.
then one subway train goes by, like, oh, a subway train.
You wuss, you know you'd be fine. No, I just meant in the last fight, he showed up and he was like, hi, the Kingpin, I'm gonna fight you.
Oh, the Kingpin.
The Kingpin one was the final
and
fight.
then the Kingpin just rocks his ass for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why was he bad at fighting all of a sudden until the Kingpin's fully, like, Diddy-esque office with the water running through it? Water started spraying. He's like, I can see you now. And I'm like, couldn't you see him this whole time?
So this is exactly what I was saying earlier, where I'm like, sometimes they portray him as sincerely blind, where it's like too quiet or too loud is bad. And it's like, yeah, a train, oh no, a bell, gunshots are fine. What? His quiet apartment, he can see around.
Yeah.
His quiet office, he can see around. Kingpin's office, where'd he go? It's too quiet until I crack open some water. They made him just sincerely not be able to know where anything is for a bit.
Yeah, watching the movie, I was like, I don't understand the turn in this scene why were you bad at fighting until this point?
Oh, I thought I understood the turn. See, he was mostly bad because he'd already been stabbed by Elektra.
Okay,
it was a big
fair.
problem.
He was pretty hurt, I guess. Yeah.
He just fought Bullseye. This is his third fight of the night, so I understood that. I thought he started winning because when he made the water come out, I thought he also turned off the lights in the way that I actually appreciate movies will still light a scene even though it's supposed to be pitch dark. So I was like, oh, Kingpin can't see now, is what I thought the turnaround had just happened.
Oh, I didn't get that.
It's a bit of a stretch because they were still letting moonlight in and stuff so we could see what was going on. But I'm like, I think it's only supposed to be Matt that can see now. But that might not be what was going on.
Huh. Yeah. Because
that was his that's how he overpowered him.
I get that. Because we also got his vision, and he couldn't seem to see Kingpin coming at him.
For some reason, no.
Yeah.
Even
I don't
though
remember that.
that's never been a
Is it
problem
because
for him.
he's too big?
He's too big.
He's like, the man must have edges.
He's like
it's like in the Spider-Verse when Kingpin's just the whole scene.
He's like, I think there's a city bus in front of me. I can't tell.
I would love that if it cut to Daredevil's vision and it's just the room, but there's a boat moving towards him. And he's like, that can't be right.
Is
that a boat? And then he's punched and he's like, what?
What?
I got punched by a boat.
The
Oh, no.
fuck? Yeah.
I'm just realizing you could fool Daredevil if you wore a costume. He can't
Like
tell
a
if
mascot
things are fake.
costume?
Yeah. If you're in the raptor costume, you'd be like a real dinosaur.
Oh, no. I have to stay very still.
No. It's too big.
Yeah, I think maybe Kingpin was just too big.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably... Okay, now no further questions.
He's too big.
I get it.
You got to consider his size.
Yeah, that's
He's
it.
too big.
Yeah, he was wider than any man he's ever met. And he
Yeah.
was like, that can't be a
Can't
person.
be right.
Yeah.
That's furniture. That's furniture coming at me. It's not a man.
I'm going to sit on this couch and rest up for the fight that's coming.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
I'll wait for
Kingpin.
Kingpin to get here. Yeah. Amazing. Okay.
Beautiful.
I think my only final point was it's crazy that Matt just hears a woman die and goes to sleep. So that's only in the extended version. This is not in the original version for sure. I would remember it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Matt, with his super hearing, can hear a woman be shot and beg for help, but he's already had a big night. He's like, I'm just gonna go to sleep.
And then hopefully that one will come back around in the form of a court case that I'm going to have to solve.
But that didn't help give him any clues.
Not at
he
all.
wasn't like, I heard the killer and it wasn't Coolio.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Yeah,
by the way,
He heard the
he could have been
killing.
like, I didn't hear Coolio there.
I heard someone who definitely wasn't Coolio. I can't tell for sure what your skin color is, but it wasn't this guy.
Yeah, it wasn't his
You
voice.
could hear the dreads moving through the air, like the wind resistance
Something
of them.
like that.
Yeah.
They did look pointy.
It was sad and not a fun way.
Not in a
No,
fun
not
way.
at
Yeah,
all.
that was one of those really dark elements that definitely is not in the original cut. This is the dark, gritty version. And
I think
there's
that,
too many, and I kind of like the idea of there's too many people to save, but that's
Sure.
a different movie.
And he's not Superman. He can't be everywhere at once. Yeah, it's a great comic. It's a gritty movie of I just got to go to sleep every night because if I don't, I gotta rest. I'm a human being.
I've been patrolling for 8 hours. There's no way I can help this one.
They definitely make it seem like he's hearing someone elsewhere in his building. Like she's not far away.
Yes, they
Yeah.
don't convey that information
They didn't
really
do
well.
a fun Bullseye's traveling really far transition to how far away this woman was.
Which
Yeah,
is
no.
strange considering how much this movie really likes to do shots of zooming
Jesus
across
Christ.
the whole goddamn city.
Yeah, instead they put them in the same room, which actually was a really cool shot, but didn't fit the tone of what this movie was.
Did they film it in the same room? Because it kind of looked like it for a second.
I mean, I think I wouldn't be able to tell you how they filmed it, but I just agree it looked really cool.
it did.
It did look cool.
That's all I have to say.
As he was
about
going
that.
to sleep in his terrible idea of a sensory deprivation tank. You're going to drown in that thing, bud. If you're a side sleeper, you're done for.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
how
don't think
he's
you can
gonna
side
do it.
sleep.
No,
You for
gotta
sure
sleep
can't
on your-
side sleep.
I think if you start to turn over, you just turn back over.
Yeah, I don't
I
think you
hope.
can side. I think the buoyancy of water does not allow someone to side sleep.
Oh, I've never done one.
I've never done one either, but you can't float on your side.
I've been in a pool.
The weight distribution of a human being would just shoot you one way
You're
or
going
the
to
other.
get water up your nose the whole night. It's terrible. Terrible night of sleep.
It's worth
Yeah.
it for the sleep, though.
For the
as someone
silence.
who wears headphones and a sleep mask in bed, I get it.
That was a thought that occurred to me that I'm like, this used to be how you needed to sleep before noise canceling headphones existed.
If you were sensitive to sounds, yeah.
Yep.
Before
So I
that
was like,
technology.
I was looking at him like, looks good. I love them real quiet.
Seems
As someone who
nice.
lives next to construction, I could do it.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
Well, let's go in for the close. Let's ask the final question of what would you change? So now that we've discussed everything we've discussed about this, what would you change about this movie if you could change anything? Before we do ask the final question, we will remind you, as we do every week, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast Addict, YouTube, if you're watching the video version on YouTube.
You can watch MacIntyre drop his papers.
That's right. You can watch that have happened. Look at them go. He'll do it for fun. Mention that in the comments. But yeah, you can subscribe, leave a comment, like on whatever platform it is you're listening or watching to this. It helps us move up the charts and find new listeners, and we appreciate it greatly. It's a free way to support the show. If you do want to support the show monetarily, you can do that over on our Patreon page, which is a monthly subscription service. You can subscribe at whatever is in your budget and get cool bonuses for doing so. Even at the $1 level, you get our webcomic early. At the $3 level, you get these episodes early and ad-free. At the $10 level, you get a bonus episode of this podcast every single month, plus immediate access to the whole back catalog as well. So it's a lot of fun stuff.
It's a lot of fun stuff. Yeah, we actually, at this moment, don't know what we're covering this month because we let our patrons decide and a vote. And as of recording, the vote's not over, but it's going to be a very fun month with whatever you guys choose for us.
It will either be Megaopolis, The Substance, or Nosferatu. We put that up for a vote on the Patreon page. So that's also the type of stuff that you can take part in on our Patreon page is those votes. That one will be closed now, but we'll drop some more votes in the future and have some more fun over there.
We always have fun on the Patreon. You're missing out if you're not there.
So head on over and check out all of the options, and you can always cancel or change on any given month. And if you sign up for the 1-year option, you get 1 month free. So check it out. It's all over at patreon.com/fromsuperheroes. That is patreon.com/fromsuperheroes. And now let's go in for the close. Let's ask the final question. Now that we've discussed everything we've discussed, what would you change about this? If you could change anything, Diana, what would you change?
It's perfect. What are you talking about?
Flawless movie.
Flawless movie.
And podcast.
How do you? It's a foolish section that we have this week. There's so much to change that I'm just gonna go with like the needs for me. No speeding up fights, no wire work. Make it all practical. That's gonna make it more fun. Suits less shiny. I think story-wise, the biggest change for me is I think I'm actually going to base this off original version, which I remember pretty well, because all this Coolio stuff can be cut. We don't need it.
You mean cut to make a different, better movie, right? Just a movie about Coolio, the wrongly accused man.
Just Coolio and Jon Favreau.
Odd couple in court. He becomes Foggy's new law partner.
Just as a real quick throwaway, I will say, as much as it is funny to joke about Coolio being in this movie, he does a fine job of that.
No, he's absolutely fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
When he won't stop hugging Jon Favreau, it's
quite funny.
actually really funny.
It's quite funny and
You
charming.
can tell Favreau rolls with the improv of it, too. He's like, all right, let's keep doing this.
They do a really good job. What was my actual change?
But you're going on the
my actual
original
change
edition.
is this movie kind of doesn't go anywhere. It's just kind of daredeviling for a long time. Like, he doesn't have a motivating factor. There's nothing he's particularly trying to stop.
This movie kind of fails.
Yeah, this movie fails. So mine is he knows Kingpin killed his dad. He's trying to find out who Kingpin is the whole time.
That's cool.
So no one knows who Kingpin is, but Daredevil doesn't care about that for 3/4 of this movie, that no one knows who the Kingpin is. He knows Kingpin killed his dad. He doesn't know who that is. So he's trying to find out the whole movie. Elektra is trying to get her dad out from underneath the Kingpin this whole movie, and they're teaming up for most of the movie.
Sure.
So they actually have similar goals of finding who the Kingpin is and stopping him for different reasons. Matt wants revenge. Elektra's trying to save her dad. Her dad will still get killed. And I don't know if she needs to think Daredevil did it. I actually don't think that leads to a lot of interesting places other than the guilt of being I stabbed him, oops. I do like that Elektra gets to win a fight in this, because lady characters usually don't get to do that in these kind of movies. So she beats Daredevil, which is cool.
She does kick his ass.
So really just like that, just that kind of small change of they both have motivating factors that's just going to push the movie to pace a little better and to be more interesting. I'm trying to find who killed my dad. I'm trying to protect my dad. And then they have very similar paths that they're on. There's a reason they're kind of connected so hard. So that's going to be my instant change for Daredevil 2003, which could have 1,000 changes, obviously. Are we going to MacIntyre?
Yeah, let's go over to you. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
change.
It needs a through line, and that really would tie it together, because it does. You're right. It's just kind of a bunch of stuff happens around.
And then ends abruptly.
Yeah, he's not trying to accomplish any particular thing in this film.
And frankly, anything he does set out to accomplish, he pretty much fails all of it, except for breaking Kingpin's kneecaps. And that's the only success he has in this. Love it. Ian MacIntyre, what would you change?
I think I would change... you've got 4 kind of main characters in this movie, and I think you need to take one out.
Oh, no.
Because I think the movie's just overstuffed. And to your point about it having no real through line or real momentum or story engine to it, I think trying to do the death of Elektra, which is a very famous, like Frank Miller comic story, trying to do that in this first movie was biting off more than they could chew, because it's like they've met 3 times. They haven't even gone on 3 dates. They've just met 3 times. And now she's dead, and Matt is forlorn over it. And you can't earn that unless your movie's going to cover a lot of time period. And I think they should have just taken Elektra out of this, and it should have, probably to your point, been a movie about Matt trying to figure out who the Kingpin is. And it's this big mystery, even though the audience is a million miles ahead of it for the entire movie, so it never feels like a mystery. Like, the audience knows from moment one.
Yeah. But
So it never lands, and I don't know, maybe that's not even a good idea of what to do. But I do think that, like, obviously the Daredevil show gets so much juice out of Matt and Wilson Fisk in this like chess match from different sides. And if the movie could have had a bit more of that, and then have him bring Bullseye in, not to kill one old man, but to be like, this Daredevil guy is getting too close to me, and he's too much for my goons to handle. We have to bring in this crazy Irish assassin to kill him. And then it becomes a real complication and escalation. And I do love that Bullseye in this movie is just like, he made me miss for the first time in my life. I must destroy him. I think that stuff could have been a lot more fun, and then maybe just save Elektra for the next movie or something, where you can really focus on her and flesh her out and have their love story land and matter.
I don't disagree that that's a tighter script. I'm a little iffy on remove the only female character.
and the best character. Yes, you're right.
But you're right that it's the death of Elektra at least is not earned in any way. Why would you waste it so quickly?
And maybe there's a way to introduce her in this movie and not have her die. Like, play that into the
You could have
movie.
Elektra without building to the death of Elektra.
And the death of her father and all that kind of stuff. I just think that there's too many classic comic stories that they're trying to pull on in this movie, and they just start bumping heads with each other and canceling each other out. I also think maybe just write a better script that Matt Damon wouldn't have turned down and then hand it off to Affleck, because that is what happened. And he would have been a much better Daredevil.
He really would have.
Oh, yeah. I mean, having seen him as Bourne, it's like, you could Daredevil, no problem.
But he could also do, like, the light charming.
He plays soft friendly really well, and then he also can switch to a badass at the same time.
Yeah, he would actually feel like 2 different characters.
Exactly.
Whereas Ben Affleck's Matt and Daredevil are the same guy.
And they are both Ben Affleck.
Yes, they're both Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
All right, I can get behind that. Yeah, it's just don't do so much.
Don't do so much,
Andrew, what would you change?
I like where our head's at. Don't do so much. Get a through line to be like, if you're going to do 9 comic book stories.
Read a script writing book?
Yeah, if you're going to do 9 comic stories, there should be a story, which is really wild at that. So I'm gonna stick with casting, and I agree. I had read that as well, that it was offered to Matt Damon, who passed, and then Ben got it. But I'm gonna make a bold choice for how to kind of improve the casting immediately, and it might be a controversial one. Is that I say we take Colin Farrell, slide him out of Bullseye into Daredevil, and I actually think Ben Affleck plays Bullseye. Because what I'm going to say there is that up until this point, Colin Farrell does a good American accent, and he's obviously a really good actor. I also think he's more comedic and charming, so he would play that side of Matt really well. He could even have him split the difference. I think Colin Farrell does a great American accent, but you could also have him as a traditional comic book Irish Catholic, maybe more of a Boston split the difference little bit of that Irish Catholic influence accent, and he could be that version of Matt, and he plays I've seen Colin play softer, friendlier, charismatic a lot better than Ben has. So if he plays that and then like not go full so zany, but he could play up the more like, I'm having fun being the Daredevil. This is like, I have a great time when I go out at night and I strike down people. I feel like Colin would play both versions of Matt and Daredevil if he went for it better, and would match better with Garner and match better with Favreau and everyone that they have scenes with. And I think if Ben Affleck plays this as a like, I'm kind of a grimy piece of shit who's mad I missed, that's way better casting for Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
To be like, I am a guy who likes killing people, and it's kind of fun for me, and I'm actually really fucking upset that I sucked at my job today. That's a great Ben Affleck role.
It's almost like when he plays the bad guy in Mallrats.
Yes.
Which is like a weird pull, but like...
Yeah, I was trying to think, when does he play bad guys? I'm like, Dogma, Mallrats.
I'm petty, and I'm vengeful, and like... Bullseye is not far off where, like, there's, I believe it's a Netflix original, but The Accountant, they just made The Accountant too, where he's kind of like an assassin-y guy. And he is kind of like, he's like an autistic Bullseye is what he's playing it as. But he really plays that, like, I'm petty and obsessive. And he's good at that. And I think that, and I know that you weren't going to be on board with this because it immediately makes it less...
No, I can see Colin Farrell as Daredevil.
You don't see him as the Bullseye.
I don't see him as the Bullseye. I especially don't see 2003 Ben Affleck as the Bullseye.
Ooh, okay, maybe.
I think maybe he's gotten to an acting point where he could like figure it out, but I don't think 2003 Ben had it.
All right,
I think 2003 Colin Farrell.
He has it.
He has it.
He has it.
I think if you had to switch two roles, if you could only use the actors you have in this film.
This is kind of why I was...
Michael Clark Duncan is not Daredevil.
Yes.
Honestly, I think though anyone was better casting in this movie than Affleck would have been for Michael Clark Duncan, Jennifer Garner, AJ Soprano from The Sopranos as the bully kid at the beginning.
Joe Pantoliano.
Oh, that's who that kid was. I knew he looked familiar.
Oh, and the mobster that Matt's dad works for at the beginning is Hector Salamanca from Better Call Saul.
Oh,
Breaking Bad.
Okay. Yeah, some good actors in there.
A lot of weird.
But yeah, that was me just trying to find a quick flipperoo. But I do think I would sell Colin Farrell more than I do.
I love the idea that you
Ben
think to
Affleck
recast, you have to use the people who were already cast.
I'm just going for an ease of conversation.
Hear me out. Jennifer Garner is the Kingpin.
Honestly?
I mean, yeah.
That would be a fun twist.
It'd be a fun twist.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
I'd love that.
I don't mind that.
We all like Jennifer Garner.
And you know what? Let's end the podcast on that. We all like Jennifer Garner, right?
We do, yeah. We all like Jennifer Garner. Yeah.
That is going to be it for this episode. But MacIntyre, thank you so much for being here and for chatting with us. I know you've got your own podcast things to promote.
Oh, what a natural segue. I am here tonight, partly for friendship.
Yes.
But also... Always, yes. I'm the MC at their wedding in like a month, and I'm so excited.
Spoilers.
No.
We can't do spoilers for life. It's fine.
Are we podcasting the... Okay, wow.
They know we're getting...
They know. It's
good.
Fine.
So part of it is also because I'm going to be coming over here a lot more because we are relaunching the Beaverton Weekly Report podcast. If you don't know the Beaverton, it is Canada's knockoff of The Onion that's made for a lot less money. And we had a podcast back in 2018 that we kind of let lapse, and now we're bringing it back because nothing happened in the world between then and now.
You'll catch us all up, right?
Yeah, we'll catch you all. We're going to do a We Didn't Start the Fire to kick it off. Luke's going to write that, I promise.
That's legal.
That's binding.
That's legal,
binding,
Luke.
I know, and he's a lawyer, so he knows.
Yep.
He's secretly Daredevil.
Also better casting. Also Luke would be better casting.
Yep.
Luke would be a good Daredevil.
He would be a good Daredevil. I could see it. But the Beaverton Weekly Report, it's going to be hosted by Luke Gordon Field. It's going to be a lot of the Beaverton writers talking about the week's news and making jokes about the week's news. And we're going to be recording it here on the Forum Superheroes Network because this is a wonderful place to be.
Yeah, and that's going to be premiering on March 19th, so the week of this episode. So the week of this episode, search for the Beaverton Weekly Report. You'll be able to subscribe to it wherever you get your podcasts.
It'll be really funny. I can see the future.
Yeah.
Please tell us the future so that we can write jokes ahead of time for it, and also maybe save lives.
No.
Okay.
No, she's not that kind of oracle.
I only just review things that are funny.
You're like a mean Cassandra.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you greatly. And next week, we will be back on the podcast. Next week, we're going to be talking about season 2 of Severance.
Ooh, and we
Yeah.
also never talked about season 1, so we'll have to dip into all the severing.
Oh, we'll talk about all the severing.
We'll sever everything.
We'll sever every ding-dang thing. We'll talk about that next week. In the meantime, if you want to get a hold of us, you can find me online. I'm at Ivimey, Ivimey.
You can find me pretty much everywhere at Words of Diana, Blue Sky, Tumblr, and Pics of Diana on Instagram. Sorry, it doesn't match up.
And you can find both of us most places at From Superheroes. And check out everything we create over at FromSuperheroes.com. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.